All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show. Excuse me. Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How's it going?
Not too bad. Terrible on my picks last night.
I didn't have a real good day yesterday on picks either. And then the Monday night football games really wasn't very exciting.
No.
But no, only game I got right in freaking baseball yesterday was the Cincinnati Reds.
I got 2 right in baseball. I ended up 2-5. I had 7 picks. I missed both my football picks because I had the Browns and they lost. I had the Saints -3, so I guess I ended up a push.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it's. I didn't. Even, what was the score of that game?
2017, I believe, wasn't it? I know Saints won by 3.
So that was a push.
So only 2 I got right. I got Seattle and San Diego right. Missed the Brewers, missed the Braves, missed the Marlins.
Yeah, I was 1-3 in baseball. I guess 0-1 in football. I didn't realize the Saints was a push.
Yeah. So really, I was 2-4 because of the push with the Browns.
So I was.
I mean, with the Saints. Excuse me.
Yeah, so I was 1-4.
I was 2-4.
Because baseball's 1-3, and NFL, I think I made the 2 picks, and one of them was a push. So so I was 1-4.
Reds got a good victory yesterday. Connor Phillips had a real good start. Pitched very well. That was nice to see. And they are tied for the 3rd position.
He pitched pretty good in his other starts.
Yeah,
Other starts. I know his ERA was high, but some of that was manually been too long when he should already been taken out.
They're a half game out of the 2nd spot to Arizona. They're tied for the 3rd spot with Chicago, and Miami's a half game behind Cincinnati and Chicago. So, and San Francisco's 2 games back of that. So, pretty tough race there in the National League.
Yeah, and what is there, 9 or 10 games left, something like that?
I think the Reds have 11.
Is it 11?
10 or 11. The Reds are 79 and 73. I think they play 162, so I think that would be 11.
So I'll tell you
Maybe
what,
10.
with all the injuries, with the COVID and everything that the Reds have had going on this season, for most of the season they've had more guys been right up there with the most guys on the IL in baseball, especially at the beginning of the season, and it really hadn't got much better. You guys started getting guys back, but then like a week later, it seemed like everybody started going down again. With everything that's going on, for the Reds to be in the position that they're in is
Pretty amazing.
Is a real good. Hey, how's it going, Rob Scott?
Hey, Glenn. Glenn,
how's it going, Glenn?
Yeah, hey, Rob. Also, the thing that's impressive with the Reds, the fact that they're 42 and 34 on the road, that's what's kept them alive. If you look at in the people that's, in the wild card, Philadelphia's got the first wild card. They do have a winning record away. Arizona's got a winning record away, but Chicago don't. Miami don't. San Francisco's terrible on the road, 33 and 42. Same way in the American League. There's only one team that's in that wild card hunt that's good on the road, and that's Seattle, 41 and 35. Everybody else, not real great. Well, Toronto and Tampa Bay pretty good, but the other ones no. So that's what's kept the Reds in it, being good on the road.
Yeah, we're better on the road than we are at home.
Oh yeah, we got a losing record at home, 37 and 39.
They've been better. They've been better on the road, and I mean, nobody expected the Reds to be as good this year as they've been. So, and to be in the position they are, even with all the injuries, it'd be nice to see what would have happened if we wouldn't have had some of the injuries to our pitching staff and to guys like India and Fraley. You know what I mean? Some of the McLean. It'd be nice to see what would have happened if
Is McLean done?
I haven't heard for sure, but it'd be nice to get him back, especially if we can end up getting one of these wild card spots, which we're in pretty good position right now. We just gotta keep playing. Gotta keep winning some games. Win series. If you keep winning series, you're gonna have
a shot. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see a sweep of series, but I mean, if we can just win the series, we're gonna have a shot.
Yeah, keep winning the series. You're gonna give yourself a chance. That's gonna be. But yeah, I didn't think the football games last night were all that great. Gruesome injury to Nick Chubb. I don't know if you ever saw the replay, but
I didn't get to see the replay, but I got to see a picture. of it. It's hard to find the replay.
I've seen the replay. And
pitcher was enough for
his
me.
leg, the way his knee bent, it's
the pitcher was enough for me. I don't think I need to see the replay.
Hopefully he'll. I haven't heard for sure, but I would say he's probably out for the season. At least the way it looked. I mean, I know sometimes it looks worse than what it is, but and that's the same knee that he had tore up 2 or 3 years ago, or it might be no longer now.
It was 2015.
I knew that's the same knee he tore up and had to have a lot of surgery done to before. So hopefully that's not the end of his career. Hopefully he can come back. And it sucks. I've heard some people talking about that's why the running backs are wanting their money. I understand that, but it's also why the teams don't. That's also why the teams don't want to pay the running backs a higher value as well.
Barkley's up for a contract next year, and he got hurt.
Barkley hurt, Chubb hurt. I mean, you already have 2 of the better running backs in the league out. Which I think Barkley, it seems like maybe ain't real bad. Might be back, could be back in 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. I think that I'd heard.
I seen the last quarter of the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game. Cleveland could not protect Watson at all.
Well,
I don't know about earlier in the game because I was watching Raw.
And Watson
looks off.
Watson does not look right either. He does not look. I thought the Browns' offensive line played pretty decent in the first 3 quarters of the game, and he missed some plays and had an interception, a couple fumbles. Hell, he started the game off with a pick 6.
Pittsburgh had 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, Pittsburgh offense looked terrible as well. It's all about their defense. The Browns' defense look good, but unless Deshaun Watson, they got some talent on that Browns team. But if that offense can't start moving the ball and Watson be able to complete at a better percentage, they're going to struggle, especially now with losing Chubb.
It's a small sample size right now, Chris, but Watson is not an upgrade over what they had before, as of right now.
Oh, he hasn't been so far. He's making $200-something million guaranteed.
I mean, they give up on what's his name,
Baker,
and right now he's not been better than what Baker was, and that's a small sample size.
Well,
so I mean, you gotta give him more time.
And Baker had that good year, and then the next year he played most of the year hurt with a hurt shoulder trying to throw the ball. And the coach was still having to throw the ball 50, 60 times a game with a hurt shoulder. And then they run him out of town. It's like,
I'd say give us some time. Give another.
Yeah, he got you where you wanted to be. No, but he got you to the playoffs before Baker got there. Hell, they couldn't even win a damn game. I mean, I think they got a little greedy on there. And then I don't know what made them think that Watson was, especially after having to sit out so long, after the 11 games, he basically sit out a season, then another 11 games after that. He almost missed two seasons.
It's one thing to get Watson. It's the other thing to pay him what he paid. That was ridiculous. They may have really screwed up their team, which their ownership hasn't been good and their decision making hasn't been good for years. They may have really screwed the pooch on this one. It's definitely looking that way. But give it another 6 games, give it a half season, and see if Watson comes around.
It hasn't looked promising. I thought Watson would look better this year. I really did.
When we're talking about quarterbacks,
I expected him to not look great last year when he came back in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? With everything that happened, I didn't. But this year, I expect him to come out looking better. You had a whole off season. Didn't really have none of the distractions and stuff going on with all his legal stuff he had. So I thought this would be the year. Hey, okay, he's going to look more like Deshaun Watson, but he hasn't looked even close to the guy that he looked like when he was in Houston.
No, not even close. Talking about quarterbacks, what's the problem with Fields and the Bears?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of play calling and a combination of Fields. I don't think Fields has progressed like everybody thought he was going to. Like I said, it began early in the season actually in the offseason. Everybody was talking about how Fields was going to be the MVP this year with the Bears finally bringing in some weapons for him. And then in the preseason, a lot of people got hype about him because hell, that first preseason game, he had like that 65-yard touchdown pass, but the pass actually went a yard.
Yeah.
And if you watch the Bears, it's like everything's around the line of scrimmage. To me, they make the defense's job pretty easy because you don't really have to worry about going down the field much. Fields isn't looking like he wants to run the ball this year, and that was a big weapon of his last year.
Do you think that's him, or do you think that's their design?
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know if it's. So I think it's a combination of.
I think they got to open him up and let him go a little bit. And
yeah, I think
he don't look comfortable.
You got to take the training wheels off of him at some point and see what you got. Let him throw the ball down the field. Let them take some chances, or you're never going to know what you got if you got him out there overthinking. I think he's overthinking some, but. And some of it's on him too. I think he sits on one receiver a little too much. Sometimes I think he panics in the pocket a little bit too quick, and kind of runs into the coverage a little bit. But then the offensive coordinator has to do a better job of setting them up to succeed as well. Where I think it's too many screens and too much around the line of scrimmage. You got to try to open that defense up so they can't just put 8 in the box and crowd the line on you. And right now with the Bears, nobody's worried about them going down the field. And until you change that, it's going to make it hard for your offense. Same thing with Pittsburgh last night, and not just last night, even that first game. A lot of their stuff is everything's right by the line of scrimmage, and you're making the defense's job a lot easier. Yeah. I think Carolina needs to do the same thing. If you're going to play Bryce Young, you got to open the offense up. You can't. And we even complained a little bit about it with the Colts in Week 1. And after they got that lead, it seemed like they kind of tightened up their offense and quit trying to go down the field any. You got to take some chances. I know you got a young quarterback and you're trying to limit mistakes, but if you don't take those chances, it makes the defense's job that much easier because they know they don't have to worry about it. One thing that helps Richardson is his legs. That they got to worry about that threat of the run too, but you still need to. Even the Colts, I thought they done it a little better last game against Houston going down the field, but against Jacksonville, it was like they got the lead and they kind of pulled the reins back a little bit.
Got real conservative. They did. Speaking of Richardson, what do you think so far?
I like the way Richardson's been playing. And my only thing with him is we got to make it through a whole game.
I would give him an A, but I can't because of
we got to make it through
injury.
So make it through a whole game.
So I'll give him a B right now.
But no, I'm happy with the way he's played. I think he's probably been so far looked the best out of the rookie quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
And I thought he let up going in the end zone. Didn't think nobody was going to hit him, and got caught a little off guard and landed weird. I think that's what caused that injury. But he's going to have to learn to protect himself better. But no, I like what he's doing. I want to see the Colts keep opening that playbook up more as the season goes on. If he makes some mistakes, he makes mistakes. But that's the only way he's going to learn and be able to see stuff is by doing it. But no, I'm happy with the way he's looked.
I was real happy with our backup too.
Minshew came in. Minshew came in, played well.
Really good.
I thought the Colts defense looked real good. I know they're in the fourth quarter. Houston scored some points, but Colts wasn't playing the same intensity of defense as they were earlier in the game. I hate when teams do that, so I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm just saying that when they were playing, they dominated that.
Well, the first game
defense dominated that game pretty well.
First game we played real good defense, and I know people say how you give up 31 points, but we give up 14 points in the fourth quarter, and our team got tired because our offense wasn't moving the ball at all. But I think our defense is pretty solid. I did want to talk about a couple other quarterbacks just real quick. What do you think of Carr of New Orleans, 2-0, and what do you think of Baker, Tampa Bay, 2-0? Their teams didn't want him no more. Get rid of him, and here they are. No, it's early, but they've got early success.
Well, with Carr, I thought the Raiders made a mistake, but I didn't understand. I guess him and that coach just don't get along. The only thing I can think of, McDaniels must not cared for him because Carr had been a good quarterback for the Raiders. Most of the problem with the Raiders when Carr was there was on the defensive side of the ball. They could score 28, 30 points and still lose. I think that Saints team has the ability to be a pretty good team if they can get their offense going a little bit better. They disappoint me on offense a little bit. I thought they'd be able to score more last night against the Panthers. Panthers do have a pretty good defense, though, so I mean, you got to keep that in mind. But Saints have a lot of weapons on the offensive side, especially when they get Kamara back here in a couple of weeks. That Olave's been looking good, and that Shaheed caught that deep pass. I think you're going to see Carr get more comfortable in that system too as the season goes on. So I expect their offense to start picking it up a little bit more. But they have a real good defense. I think that Saints team. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team, but I think they could be a dangerous team just because they can keep games close with that defense, and then they have potential on offense if they can put it all together.
I think they could definitely be a playoff team, and I think they could be a dark horse. I mean, they could be, like you said, if Carr gets the offense together with their defense, they could be a surprise team. Not saying they're going to go.
I would have them as the favorites to win that division right now. I know you have Tampa at 2-0. Falcons are also in that division at 2-0.
Who would have thought that right now?
But
the other 3 teams would be all 2-0.
But even out of them 3 teams, I would give the Saints a little bit of advantage because of Carr at quarterback. I think he has the most experience out of them quarterbacks, and has proven to be the better quarterback out of them 3 so far in his NFL career. And then that Saints defense is tough. But with the Falcons, if Desmond Ridder can pick it up, if they can pick their passing game up a little bit, they're going to be a tough team because they got a great run game and they got a pretty feisty defense that keeps them in games. So
they kind of remind me of Detroit last year. So far, what their team does. We'll see how that pans out.
And then Baker's played well so far. He's played better than I expected. I'd like to see him keep playing well. I was a big Baker fan coming in to the league, and then after he got hurt in Cleveland, and then left Cleveland last year, he just couldn't really. I mean, he had a good game here and there, but here so far he's put together a couple decent games in a row to start the season there in Tampa. And
you may have finally found the right system.
Tampa has some weapons on offense, so I mean, if that defense can hold up, and Baker just don't make the big mistakes, especially in that division where we don't think it's going to be a great division, even though you have the 3 teams that started out 2-0, but even though I mean, don't think that's a real strong division. So I mean, Tampa could be right there, especially in that division. I don't expect Tampa to be like maybe a fringe playoff team if they can win that division. Would probably be my ceiling for them right now. Yeah. But they've got off to a good start. I mean, you got them teams at 2-0, and you take a look around. You got the Chargers and the Bengals, both at 0-2. And I never would have thought either one of them teams would have been 0-2. Especially the Bengals. But if you look, hell, the Bengals or Joe Burrow's only won like 1 game in the first couple weeks of the season. So, I mean, they're kind of starting out like usual.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried about his injury. We'll see. I don't think he's 100%. Have you heard anything about Richardson?
No, I haven't. Which they might have been back. Yeah, they probably had Monday off, so they're probably back in the building today. But no, I know on fantasy it has him as questionable. But I haven't really heard no more about it since Sunday. Let's see here. Get back to the right page. All right, we'll get ready to jump into some baseball. Today's slate of games. Really, today is basically just baseball. No NFL on Tuesday, and I don't think college comes back to Thursday this week as well. So, here before too long, we should start getting some of the MAC games on Tuesday nights. Yeah, Glenn said we should know new news by Thursday. I figured tomorrow or Thursday we'll start hearing a little bit more about him. But yeah, I hadn't heard much really mentioned about him yet. I think he'll be all right. I mean, if anything, he might miss this week, but I don't even think he'll miss this week. I think he'll be back.
Of course, he's got to clear the protocol, but they say he's feeling good and he's clear-minded and feels great. So, but again, he's got to pass that protocol.
I think he'll play this week. I think it was more of the whip flash, and that's how he got this concussion. And you hear concussion and it can scare you like that, but there's so many different degrees of a concussion too. I mean, and they can all affect you differently as well. So
If Richardson plays, do you think Baltimore will bring the blitz, go after him?
I think they will some. That's going to be an interesting game. Ravens will look pretty. Didn't look great their first game. I thought they looked a little bit better their second game against the Bengals.
Yep.
Be good to me. It's going to be a good test to see where the Colts are at, because I think the Colts are better than what people think. I mean, that Jacksonville team is not a bad team, and we had the lead with 6 minutes left in the game and kind of let that one go.
Yep.
And we saw what the Jags did with the Chiefs. Jags had chances to win that game. So I mean, I think the Colts have the ability to be a better team than what a lot of people.
The offensive line has played decent so far, so if we can continue that, we got a solid defense, and the offense hopefully will get better as it goes. So we'll see.
But
You would think it'd get stronger as it goes.
yeah, that's the one thing that still worries me about the Colts is receiving position.
Yeah, one thing that I did like was Granderson, tight end. I thought he looked pretty good.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's been pretty good, but we got to get a couple of these receivers going to step up and be able to make some plays.
Yeah, I think Downs shows some promise, but he's a young rookie, so.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think he's played pretty well so far. Pittman hasn't been bad, but
Pittman's been good.
But I expect a little bit more out of him. You know, I mean, he's supposed to be the number one guy.
I don't disagree, but if nobody else is stepping up, it makes it harder on them.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not that he's played bad. He played pretty good. But
That's not stepping up, Chris. Is it Pierce?
Yeah,
he's the one that's not stepping up at all.
Yeah, but he hasn't.
He hadn't had a lot of throws.
He hasn't had a whole lot of targets yet. But yeah, we need him to. And it's a lot of times don't look like we're getting any separation. That's the thing. You gotta get some guys open. All right, Major League Baseball night. You got the Angels and the Rays. Will be my first game. Rays are 1.5 run favorites, minus 215 on the money line. The Angels are plus 180 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 8 runs. The Angels are 68-82 on the season, 33-42 on the road. They will have Sandoval on the mound, who is 7-13 with a 4.48 ERA. Tampa is 92-59 on the season, 50-25 at home. On the mound for the Rays is going to be Bradley, who is 5-7 with a 5.56 ERA. I like Tampa Bay at home here in this game. Angels have had injuries and stuff, and it's just been a struggle for them. Next game, Minnesota Twins at the Cincinnati Reds. The Twins are a 1.5 run favorite, minus 130 on the money line. Reds are plus 110 on the money line. Over-unders at 9.5. Twins are 79-72, 36-40 on the road. They will have Maeda on the mound, who is 5-7 with a 4.50 ERA. The Reds are 79-73 on the season, 37-39 at home. They will have Cruz on the mound, who's 1-1 with a 4.05 ERA. I'm gonna go with the Reds here at the plus 1.5. Been playing some pretty good baseball. Won 6 of our last 8, if I remember correctly.
Who's on the mound for the Reds?
Cruz. It means he'll probably pitch 2-3 innings and he'll probably go to the bullpen, I would say. See, next game, Toronto Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. The Blue Jays are 1.5 run favorites. And that's changed. The Yankees were the favorite. Well, the Yankees are still a favorite on the money line. Blue Jays are the favorite on the run line. Blue Jays are minus 102 on the money line. Yankees are minus 116 on the money line. Over-unders at 8.5 runs. Blue Jays are 83-67 on the season, 42-33 on the road. They will have Kikuchi on the mound tonight, who is 9-6 with a 3.81 ERA. The Yankees are 76-74 in the season, 39-36 at home. On the mound for the Yankees is going to be Schmidt, who's 9-8 with a 4.56 ERA. I like the Blue Jays here on the money line. Let's see. Next game for me is going to be the Cleveland Guardians at the Kansas City Royals. The Guardians are 1.5 run favorites, minus 164 on the money line. The Royals are plus 138 on the money line. Over-unders at 9.5 runs. The Guardians are 72-79 on the season, 33-43 on the road. On the mound for the Guardians is Allen. He's 7-7 with a 3.60 ERA. The Royals are 49-102 on the season, 29-47 at home. They will have Cruz on the mound, who's 0-0 with a 5.14 ERA. I like the Guardians here on the money line over the Royals. And in my last game of the night, Baltimore Orioles at the Houston Astros. The Astros are 1.5 run favorites, minus 156 on the money line. The Orioles are plus 132 on the money line. Over-unders at 9 runs. Baltimore is 94-56 on the season, 49-26 on the road. On the mound for Baltimore is going to be Gibson, who's 14-9 with a 4.98 ERA. The Astros are 84-67 on the season, 38-38 at home. On the mound for the Astros will be Brown, who's 11-11 with a 4.61 ERA. I like Baltimore here at the plus 1.5. I think Baltimore wins this game, but I really like Baltimore at the 1.5. So my picks for baseball tonight: Rays money line, Reds plus 1.5, Blue Jays money line, Guardians money line, and the Baltimore Orioles at the plus 1.5.
Okay, my picks for tonight for Major League Baseball. I have Milwaukee money line at St. Louis. I've got San Francisco at Arizona. I'll take Arizona money line. I got Baltimore at Houston. I'll take Houston money line. And I've got Detroit at the Dodgers. I'll take the Dodgers money
line. So that's pretty much all the sports for tonight. College football, you got one game. Looks like one game on Thursday. Of course, NFL don't come back till Thursday. Only Giants and 49ers is a Thursday night game this week.
Yep.
Which I like the 49ers in that game. Right now, the 49ers are 10-point favorites. I think I'd take the 49ers as 10-point favorites.
What's the Sunday night game? That's probably the only game we're going to get to see. Or some of it. Like that.
Steelers and Raiders. And then they're having 2 damn Monday night games again. I don't like this damn new Monday night schedule.
Who's on Monday night?
At 7:15, you have the Eagles and Bucks. And then at 8:15, you have Rams and Bengals. If you're going to do the 2 Monday night, go back to the old way where you start one like at 7 and the other one is a West Coast game that starts around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't like this 7 and 8 crap because it's.
I agree.
Yeah, you can go back and forth, or you can put both on the same time, but still, it's not the same as being able. And plus, Monday night was always like a standalone game. It made it a little bit more special, a little different. You know what I mean? I know why ESPN likes it because they're getting a hell of a lot of ratings.
ABC and ESPN.
Yeah. So I understand why they like it, and it gives them more NFL on ESPN where they don't get a whole lot other than the Monday nights. So I understand that, but man, as a fan, I'd rather it be back to just one game. Colts are 8.5-point dogs against the Ravens. See, the Browns are 3-point favorites over the Titans. So I like the Titans in that game. Vikings are 1.5-point favorites over the Chargers. It's hard for me to pick either one of them damn teams. Where they've been. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites over the Jets. Jags are 9.5-point favorites over the Texans. Bills are 6.5-point favorites over the Commanders. Lions are 3-point favorites over the Falcons. That's probably going to be a decent game.
Yep.
The Packers are 2-point favorites over the Saints.
What do you think about that?
I think I like the Saints in that game. Dolphins are 6.5-point favorites over the Broncos. Seahawks 5.5-point favorites over the Panthers. Chiefs are 12-point favorites over the Bears, or 12.5-point favorites, excuse me. Cowboys are 12.5-point favorites over the Cardinals. Raiders are a point and a half favorite over the Steelers. The Eagles are 5.5-point favorites over the Bucks, and they have the Bengals as 2.5-point favorites over the Rams. That Bengals and Rams game probably a pretty good game on Monday night.
The Rams look pretty good the other day.
The Rams have looked pretty good the first 2 weeks. So I think what college schedule's a little better this week too. You got some ranked teams playing each other this week. Last week you didn't have hardly any.
Yeah,
I know you have the Ohio State Notre Dame game. You have Oregon and Colorado.
Yeah, there's some decent games this week.
Yeah, so there's some pretty good college football games this week. But, if you missed GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room last night, go check it out. You can find it out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room or at the All Sports All Plays Network. I'll go over my picks for today one more time before we get out of here. My picks are 514 and 398 on the year. I'm going with Tampa Bay Rays on the money line, Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5, Blue Jays money line, the Guardians on the money line, and the Baltimore Orioles at the plus 1.5. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well. Also check out the ASAP All Sports All Plays Network on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and all social media. We appreciate everybody watching. This has been Easy Money, a sports betting show. We'll be back tomorrow right around 3 o'clock. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow.